everyone, and welcome to Talk Tuesday about business. It's Nancy Steidel, and we are here for Talk Tuesday about business. Really delighted to be here with you. I'm here every Tuesday, 12 noon UK time, to discuss business tips and advice that may benefit your business. I run the firm called The Business Mission, www.thebusinessmission.com, where you can go to our website and visit all our services. The services range from business plans to certain strategies such as marketing, brand strategy, social media strategy. We also help with legal contracts, trademark applications. We have offered blogs on there on business as well. So if you want some education on business, please feel free to visit the website to read our blogs as well. I'm very passionate about business. I like to see all business owners succeed. And so this is why I run the Talk Tuesdays about business every Tuesday, 12 noon UK time on these platforms. Okay, so today we're going to talk about social media. So again, coming from a structurist angle, I'm going to talk about strategies and the foundation in social media that you need before you get on a social media platform. A lot of people, set up a business and they think, oh, I've got to set up Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and Pinterest and Snapchat and whatever else is out there. But do you really know if you need those platforms? So today we're going to talk all about that, and we're going to talk about the strategies that you need before you advance on the social media platforms. So the first question we're going to address is, what exactly is a social media plan and strategy? That's a really good one. What is a social media plan and strategy? Because maybe you might not know what that is, and it's important that you put that in place before you set up your social media platforms. And the second one is, what is included in this social media strategy and plan? Again, finding out what you need in order to structure the correct situation on your social media to get the most out of it. And thirdly is, how can your business benefit from a social media strategy and plan? It's really how you are going to maximize this plan and this strategy to get the most out of it. Okay, so it's 12 noon. We're going to get cracking on for the first question, which is, what is a social media strategy and plan? Okay, a strategy and plan is absolutely a key factor in any social media work that you're going to do, such as marketing. Social media is a new 21st century marketing platform that has really taken off. Prior, it was direct marketing. You would do leaflets, you would do newspaper advertising, billboards. You still do those. But social media really grabs a huger market because a lot of people are on social media, okay? But without a proper social media strategy, you might be posting on social media for the sake of posting, and really that's not enough. You should not post anything on social media for the sake of just posting, okay? Having a proper understanding of your social media platforms, your target audience and your market, and what you need or want to promote is an absolute must. Without really understanding what your goals are or what you want to achieve through social media, it's really hard to achieve those results. And the strategy for your business really depends on your product or services that you want to promote. Then you need to decide which social media platforms that suit your brand. Remember, not all the available platforms will be beneficial to your brand. It's not just saying like, you know what, I need to be everywhere on social media. Actually, maybe your audience isn't even on Twitter. Okay, so you really need to be able to understand where your audience is. Okay, so here are a few questions that you should need to answer before you start doing your social media for your brand. Okay, what your brand wants to be on social media. What exactly does it want to be on social media? And what are you going to share? Okay, who is your target audience? Where will you share your content? And when will you share it? Okay, when is your audience actually online? And when are you going to outsource your social media management eventually? Okay, so hopefully that will give you a little understanding of what is a social media strategy and plan and why you need it. If you don't map out things before you start something, then the whole journey is really frustrated. And I see it all the time when people say, oh, I'm posting and I'm paying for paid adverts and nothing is happening in my social media. Okay, so it's really important. That is why you need a social media strategy, is to get those results. Okay, so welcome to Talk Tuesday about business. It's Nancy Stoughton from the Business Mission. Really delighted to be here. I'm here every Tuesday, 12 noon UK time, to discuss business tips and advice. I run the Business Mission, which you can view at www.thebusinessmission.com. If you know anybody who is not sure about social media, please feel free to share this video with them. Okay, so on to the next question. What is included in a social media strategy and plan? Okay, so with any strategy in place, a business gains structure and solid foundations to breed a healthy and successful business. The primary value of a social media strategy is to really understand the business's target audience and their customers that are on social media, its prospects, and even its competitors. There are gaps in the business's knowledge. This may have a huge impact on the marketing of the business on social media. And having a really accurate online data is the cornerstone of every social media strategy. And also, it then offers direction with the social media plan. The social media strategy is driven by one social business plan and business strategy, where the business needs to go online, what market the business needs to serve online, how this business goes to market with its products and services online. Now, I'd like to offer you a much better understanding of social media strategy and social media plan. Social media strategy and social media plan used interchangeably, yet they do really mean two different things. A social media strategy, okay, so a strategy explains the goals and the objectives behind one's business online social media efforts. The business strategy and the business goals go hand in hand, a relationship that can explain the whats and the whys of the business's online activities. Now, a social media plan, explains how the business's social media activities are to be used to achieve those business goals. Okay, it documents the application of your social media strategy and how certain social media tactics may bring the business from point A to point B on social media, and how to execute it correctly on which social media platform. Now, here's a practical example of social media strategy and social media plan. So, the social media's business goals is to grow sales or to engage by 20% year after year online. Okay, maybe engage more on social media. Now, the social media strategy possibly breaks into previously untapped 18 to 25 market segmentation. Maybe you've got an audience ready and it's doing well, and you're thinking, you know, I want to tap into a new audience. Okay, that's the social media strategy. Then the social media plan is, how are you going to create a social media campaign focusing on reaching out to these clients and these preferred target audience on your social media platforms? While the difference between a social media strategy and a social media plan may seem quite the same, failing to understand these two concepts is where very much many business owners and social media marketers make huge mistakes. The people proceed to the how of social media without understanding the what and the why, which often leads to a very disjointed social media effort, which is a total waste of time and money and effort. And I see it all the time on Facebook or in any social media platform. It's that, oh, I can't seem to get engagement. I can't seem to get people to follow us. I can't seem to get this or that. Or I'm not getting anything out of our social media. Okay. So once the social media strategy is completed, it is then used to create the detailed social media plan, which achieves the business's specific online goals, right? As a social media strategy is mapped out to be used into a plan, be specific when deciding what, how, and why the business communicates with the business's customers or the target audience online. The more specific in the planning and in the strategy, the easier it may be to follow through with effective implementation. Okay? A social media strategy comprises of some of the following items, not all, but some of the following items. Obviously, the target audience, that's online. What is your positioning strategy? Why is your business on certain platforms? That's such a good question. Why are you choosing Facebook? Why are you choosing Instagram? Why are you choosing Twitter? Why are you choosing LinkedIn? Okay, it needs to have a marketing mix. The buyers or the target's personification. You need to really understand your audience's behaviors. There's the competitiveness of it, your competitors, and the social media outline. Okay, so some great steps to a social media strategy is the concept. Okay, why are you doing it? What's the concept? The feasibility and the specifics. Focus and refine your business's market and audience. Outline the specifics of the business's target audience online and lay out the strategy in a really compelling form. Now, some strategy tips to your social media strategy is you must be brutally honest and realistic about the business online and what it is able to deliver. Now, remember, if you're setting up, let's say, a Facebook page or LinkedIn, and it's really year early days, you can't expect to have 1,000 followers in one day unless you're a prodigy. But to tell you the truth, portraying the business as something else online and unrealistic expectations is really unhealthy and unproductive. Okay? Be very conservative with estimating your social media goals. For example, followers or engagement. That takes time to build up. We've now been on social media just over 3 years and we're at 12,000 followers. But that didn't come overnight. That took a while to get to there, okay? So you just need to be very conservative. When we do our goals, for example, we said in the next sort of 3 months or 4 months, we would get 1,000 or 500, it was 500 followers. And we achieved that. So when you go that and more is better than being over ambitious, okay? Turn the weakness of what you're doing on social media into a strength and focus more on the projections of the first year to achieve rather than overwhelm the long-term projections, okay? And focus really much on your positive wording in your social media strategy and plan because you will manifest that and you will gravitate that in the world. You need to keep the energy and the vibe of your social media strategy and plan in a really uplifting manner, and then everything will move for you, okay? At all times, please, before you go on social media, do a social media strategy and plan. Skipping this step may lead to the social media side of the business to be very unbalanced, no structure or foundation, and in the end, you will not get anywhere far with your social media landscape. Okay, some questions to think about before you start the social media strategy and plan is, where are the social media goals in this business? How might the strategy and plan help the business work out to achieve its ambitions and make the business successful on social media? Think about this business and how it intends to use social media for its services and products in the best way. And why is the social media strategy and plan going to work for your business? Okay, so it's really important to think about all these things, and then also think about the social media costs of the business. A lot of people just jump in and they really don't think about the costs involved to be on social media. I know it's free to join, but then paid advertising, the time that you're going to use, the content that you're going, if you're not very strong at content, you probably need a copywriter to help you with the content as well. Okay, so outline your costs. And what effects might social media have as you grow your business? Okay, are you going to maintain it? You need to delegate somebody to come in. All right, well, that should give you a little overcast of what a social media strategy and plan is and what it will do for your business. It's Nancy Steidel from the Business Mission. Welcome to Talk Tuesday about business. I'm here every Tuesday, 12 noon UK time, and we offer business tips and advice. If you want to learn more about social media strategy and plan, we do offer a course. I offer a course one-to-one where I offer you a social media strategy and plan template, and we work together to achieve great results. Okay, on to our final question is, how can my business benefit from a social media strategy and plan? Okay, a social media strategy helps you look more creditable to your audience, and it also helps you save a lot of time in the run with the business. Okay, furthermore, it's a really wonderful asset to have in the business. Remember, as you build your business, you need to accumulate assets. Okay, so that's a business plan, that's a trademark, legal contracts, brand strategy, marketing plan, social media strategy, social media plan, advertising strategy, sales team. You start to accumulate all these valuable assets so that when you exit the business, people can see how juicy the business is and they'll want to be able to buy it from you, or you'll be able to exit it. Okay, so here are 5 tips I've come up with which should benefit your business by having a social media strategy and plan. First of all, it definitely keeps things consistent and it saves you a lot of time. If you have a social media strategy, your business content is consistent and your business never has to worry about when it's going to post because it's already laid out for you. The strategy helps you save so much time in the long run. And of course, the initial creation is going to take you some time to write this strategy, but once that's finished, you'll be able to put your content into a social media scheduler and focus on engaging with your audience in real time rather than continue to write the content. Now, I write a lot of content for social media for my clients, and I schedule one day where I spend 9 hours and do all the social media, and then I schedule it out. And then they are allowed to talk to their friends or talk to their audience while the posts come. Number 2, it is very cost effective. Social media strategy is a lot more effective than any other strategies out there when it comes to online. Using social media is free unless you decide to run advertisements, and even there, it might be cheaper than printed ads, but I mean, it's not really free because you got to pay for the internet. You know, you got to be on your phone, you got to buy a phone and laptop, okay? But ultimately, in the long run, when you have a strategy and plan, it's more effective, okay? Purchasing decisions are influenced by social media. Nowadays, people purchase after being influenced by something they see on social media. That's why it's really important to have that strategy in place when they do decide to buy from you. Okay. It definitely increases your exposure. Having a solid social media strategy and plan helps you further increase your exposure within your target audience. If you don't have an active presence on social media, people are definitely aren't going to know who you are or your company is. It definitely builds trust with your audience. Okay. Having a social media strategy helps you continue to build trust with your audience. When you have built up trust with your audience, they are most likely to purchase from you and to support you. Okay. If you're consistent and they know that you're on social media and you're going to be there at a certain time, then they're definitely going to trust you a lot more. And you'll learn all this through a social media strategy and plan. And believe me, your life will be very easy then because you'll be very organized and it's that simple. Okay, I do offer a social media strategy course. You can go to www.thebusinessmission.com where you can find our courses in the strategy section. And this is a one-to-one course where you'd be working with me. I have a social media template. We would work on that. You would add the information in the template, and we would meet up every week for up to 2 hours and talk about what you've written and see if you're on the right course with it. Okay. If you want to learn more information about that, you can write me at info@thebusinessmission.com. You can message me through any social media platforms that we have available with our business. All right. Thank you very much for joining me today on the social media topic. I shall see you next Tuesday, 12 noon UK time, for further business tips and advice. And do look at your social media and see if it is really the heartbeat of your business and doing very well and you are getting those results. If you're not, take a step back. There's always time to take a step back and indeed implement a strategy and plan. As the saying goes, fail to plan, plan to fail. Have a great week ahead and see you next Tuesday. Bye.